This is Series 2, Episode 7. Today is the 1st of February 2022 and I want to talk about one stock. That stock is Arista Networks, ticker symbol ANET. Here is my disclaimer. Everything I talk about in this video is for informational purposes only. If you decide to take action upon that information, that is your decision. You are responsible for all of your trading decisions. So on Sunday I talked about a possible bottom in the market, and that seems to be correct, and at the moment the stocks are rallying quite nicely. Now it doesn't mean they're going to continue, but I have to point out what I'm seeing and show you what I'm seeing. So I will focus on this one stock, and then you can make an informed decision and decide if you want to take the trade or not. Now before I start diving into the technicals, let me show you some of the fundamentals just to give you a bit of a wider picture. I want to bring your attention down here at the earnings consensus. Now look at this, guys. Beat earnings 2020, beat earnings, beat earnings, beat earnings. They're continuously beating expectations, and they are a rival to Cisco Systems. Now on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, this company is releasing its next earnings report. So I'm getting this on your radar ahead of the earnings report because you may be interested in taking a bit of a gamble. I don't like gambling as when I'm trading, but I mean a calculated gamble. So I'll explain why in a second. So earnings is due on the 14th of February, but look at those current historical earnings reports. Very, very strong. So that's the first point. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the technical side of this. So what do I see? This is a daily time frame. So each bar is one day's worth of price action. I've drawn in all these arrows already just so you can see why I'm talking about these areas. So look to the right here, you see 120. $120 is the round number, and you can see that price, look at these arrows, price has respected this area, this $120 area in the past. Now I wanted to see what would happen in this latest downtrend of the market. So I wanted to see whether or not this stock would hold at this level. Well, look what it did. With everything else, the markets have all come down quite dramatically, particularly technology stocks. And look what it did. It held here for a day, then started holding for a few days at this 120 level. Then eventually it's bounced up, right? Then I've also drawn this trend line in for you, so you can see, and I've drawn in arrows as well, so you can see how well it was respected. Price kept knocking its head against this trend line. Now, if you notice, we had this very bullish bar, bullish candlestick, and the price is trying to make its way through the trend line. Now the only thing I don't like is the volume isn't particularly high at the moment, but this is why I'm just getting it on your radar, because you might be interested in taking this stock as a trade in future, bearing in mind that earnings report is out on the 14th of this month. But look at even today's price action, that is very bullish. Let me zoom in slightly for you. So what does this price action tell us? Well, it shows us that the market took a bit of a dive today on this stock, but by the end of this day, and this is now, the markets have now closed, all the buyers came back into the stock, indicated by this long wick. So that's another bullish sign, and it looks like it could, doesn't mean it will, could be about to break out. This might take a little bit of time because it's below its 50 period moving average, but I'm just showing you ahead of time because that earnings report is coming out, because you may be interested in taking this. But that's 2 days worth of positive price action. It might go up a little bit more, guys, and then come back down to test the trend line. I don't know exactly, but my trade idea is this. If we can get this as close to $120 as possible, then I think it's just worth taking the trade personally. That's just my personal opinion. And then you can manage your risk quite comfortably, and I'll show you where. So let me zoom back out again. So if you were to take the stock in the next couple of days, again, that's up to you. You could manage your risk quite nicely because you could get your stop loss down here. So you'd risk about 10% on one stock. Not on your whole portfolio, but on one stock. To risk 10%. And you'd be looking to try to get 20% reward, 10% minimum. And what I often say is, well, I often try to do is, if I'm looking for 1-to-1 as a minimum, 1-to-1 risk reward. If I get 10%, then I get my stop, my mental stop to break even, so that if this goes wrong, then I'd be out. But the reason I like it is because of the fact that we could potentially get our stop here, and if the earnings report is negative and you start seeing this tanking, then you just take the hit and you get out. And that is really, really important, so you know what you're getting into before you take the trade. But if the earnings report is really, really positive, like all the other quarterly earnings reports have been for this stock, this could move really, really quickly, and you could make 20% on this stock. So potentially risk 10% to make 20%, and that is what trading is all about. So there's the stock, guys. The final thing, sorry, let me just zoom out just to give you the bigger picture. I didn't explain this. This is really important, I forgot to say. So notice how here the price of this stock gapped up in November. That's a very, very bullish sign, and then it went sideways and made this low point, as I already talked about, then rallied. Now it's come back down and tested it. So that is very bullish. That's a gap up on earnings, and then often these stocks that gap up on earnings, if they can break out like it did here. Now I'm not saying it's going to, but the fact that already gapped up, that just shows you that the institutions are seeing this as a very strong stock. I've showed you the fundamentals behind it. It could be the next big Cisco Systems competitor. So there it is, guys. Remember the 14th of February. I like the look of this stock. I'm probably going to get in on it. Now you have to be aware of the general market conditions, and that is why you definitely need to have your understanding of where your risk is on this. 10% risk. So here, get out, end of story, you've lost. But if you win, which this has a good chance of winning, because of this earnings report, and you've seen the fundamentals behind that. I just like the look of it, guys. So there it is. Arista Networks, ticker symbol ANET. I wish you the best of luck. Please comment below, subscribe, and I'll speak to you in another video soon. Thank you for watching.